Rated Gen Z, where real talks get real. Each episode dives deep into the minds of 18 to 24-year-olds, exploring their dreams, struggles, and perspectives that most people never hear. We're diving into the chaos that defines a generation everyone talks about, but nobody actually listens to. This isn't just a podcast. This is a generation speaking. Welcome, Leslie Ortiz. This is the inaugural episode for my very new podcast called Rated Gen Z, specifically for ages 18 to 24. I wanted to kind of do something beyond rock the boat, and I figured this would be just something that can kind of evolve organically. So we'll see what happens. But Leslie, thank you for being brave enough to be my first.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for all the questions to be asked.
Yes. So you and I met at a conference. I got the opportunity to ask you a question because I was doing kind of like a woman on the street style for my job. And you were with another friend of yours, and I just naturally started asking questions. And you had mentioned that you were a student at UC Irvine. And I had asked you the question. You were part of the video, our little montage, which is great. But that's essentially what I want to go into because I did look into your LinkedIn and I wanted to kind of see a little bit of your background, which kind of lends me to this because when I was your age, because how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20. Okay. So you're my daughter's age. So when I was 20, there was zero social media. It did not exist. And so when I was at UCLA studying, there were pressures naturally, like just in the environment and just like peer pressure and just pressures in general. But now it's different because you have social media, you have things like LinkedIn. So as I was looking at your LinkedIn, I thought, oh my goodness, this young lady has done so much already. And it's very impressive. But it leads me to ask you, do you feel the pressure of having to have essentially already a resume that long at age 20?
Yeah, definitely. I think coming into UCI, I was shocked by the community I was thrown into, and I was like, wow, everyone's already ready to get their internship. Everyone has so much background already, and I was just starting off like I just came off of high school. What am I supposed to do? So it was very much like a lot of pressure in the beginning. And then as you come to talk to people, as you come to like get into organizations and communicate with different friends and in your classes, you start networking, I guess. You start seeing how you have to kind of get these internships or start building connections just so you can get like a good job in the future. And I think it was a lot of pressure for me in the beginning. I was like, how am I going to do this? But then you just start joining organizations, you start meeting friends, you start building connections, you begin being part of these organizations, going on board like I did. And then I was just like, oh, let me try out to get like an internship to possibly like have something on my resume because you obviously want that experience, especially going into marketing. I think marketing is so impacted that you just need
Yeah,
experience
it's
to get
very
into it.
popular.
Yes, extremely popular. So that's how I started. I kind of was like, let me just apply and see what I can get. Yeah, it is very hard.
Yeah, I mean, when you went to UC Irvine and you applied, did you come in with a major already?
Yes, I came in as a business administration major.
Okay, and so at the time when you were applying and you went in as that major business administration, did you have an idea of what you were going to do with that or what you were going to do with that? No, you just
No clue. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I kind of thought about marketing because I liked psychology, but I didn't want to do psychology. I was like, I don't really see myself being a psychologist. So I was like, let me look into business where I could be more broad and kind of pick what I wanted to do. I was like, I could go into accounting, I could go into finance. And then I found marketing and I really liked the insights part of it. And I was like, okay, this kind of fits my psychology aspect a
Yes.
little bit.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, oddly enough, marketing is a lot about psychology. You have to
A lot.
understand human behavior in psychology. It's amazing how much I have learned about human behavior and human psychology through
Yeah.
marketing. So it does give you that element because even when I've done all like the strength finder exams, usually it ends
Mhm.
up saying that my career could be psychologist. So it makes sense that were thinking about
Yeah.
psychology, but now you're thinking of marketing. And that's a cool thing too with marketing. Is there a specific avenue within marketing? Because marketing is so broad now
It's so
too.
broad.
Yeah.
Um, at first I was like, whoa, there's so many avenues I could go down. I was like, okay, let me just test this out. I really like marketing research. I think that
Okay.
makes a lot like of it makes sense because I guess I really like psychology and it makes sense. I like the behind the scenes part of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so any kind of like marketing insights, marketing analytics, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I kind of like that part. But I've also been looking into a lot of product marketing.
Oh,
That's
okay.
been really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that you would like to go into the beauty and fashion industry.
Yes. Yes.
Now that's something too that I would love to tap into because you had mentioned in your about section with that the
Hmm.
ever evolving beauty and fashion industry, which it is
Yes.
evolving especially because of social media. So
Hmm.
I'm curious, like, what do you see now with beauty and fashion and like do you already kind of see like a trend with it? Because I'm seeing a trend for sure, like because of TikTok and Instagram and everything. I'm curious, like from your viewpoint, like what is it that you're seeing right now and where do you see it going?
Okay, I definitely see. I just love the trends of beauty and fashion industry. That's why I want to get into it. But right now, the trends I've just been seeing is more natural makeup. I feel like you can obviously tell girls now don't want to be all like flashy. They want big lashes or like a lot of blush, a lot of contour. It's just more, oh, I want to be natural and emphasizing my natural features is kind of what we're going into right now. And I really like that. I
I
really like women
love
stepping
that.
into
So
their
what do you
own.
think?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. What do you, okay, because I myself, like I'm 49
Hmm.
and I have no makeup on right now. I got like a
Hmm.
lash lift
Wow.
and tint because I didn't want to have to put mascara on or worry about that.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
I did it for the first time. But
Uh-huh.
even though like I'm trying to go, oh, au natural, like I'm still obviously doing something to kind of enhance, right?
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I'm curious as to like why a shift? Why do you think now everybody's trying to embrace the natural look, which like I said, yeah, I love it. I
Hmm.
think it's great. It helps you with time and energy
Yeah.
for sure. But what do you see like why?
First, first of all, your skin is great. I
Oh,
was just gonna
thank
say that. I
you.
was like,
I
wow,
take
okay.
good care of it. I really do.
Okay,
It's a lot of
okay.
work.
Skincare, got it.
Wash your face before you go to bed. That's like one of those things that I tell everyone. But go ahead.
Okay, okay. Keeping that in mind. I would say the shift definitely is just people maturing and kind of are seeing like, oh, we shouldn't have the stereotypes of like you have to cover yourself up to be beautiful.
Hmm.
Like you can just be beautiful being your own. And I think we've come a long way of like beauty standards are changing, and I'm so happy they are because I think everyone is beautiful in their own way. And
Yes.
there shouldn't be a set reason of how someone should look or how someone should dress. I think I'm glad that it's changing and I'm glad that it's all natural beauty from here on out.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Also, like filters, obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, I was guilty of doing the filters on Instagram in the beginning because everybody was doing it. And then, there comes a point where you think that that's what you look like. And then when you look in the
Yeah.
mirror or you look at yourself without a filter, you almost start criticizing yourself even more.
Hmm.
And it really does like alter the way you start looking at
Yeah.
yourself. And I think that that was I'm hoping maybe something that people realize, like, when you move out
Hmm.
into the world, you don't have a filter on. That's how people see you.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
almost like you're like being someone that you're not by doing that constantly. I mean, how do you feel about that
Yeah.
now?
I think I feel like that really fell harder when I was in middle school or high school growing up. I was like, oh, these filters, like I have to look like these beautiful models. I was like, whoa, but almost being in middle school and growing up with social media made it so much harder, I guess, when you
Yeah.
were growing up. Like I was just looking at like what I was supposed to look like, and it was really hard growing up for like going through the filters and trying to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And then you're also going through puberty, which means you're breaking out, and then you don't have the most beautiful skin ever.
Damn
So
acne.
yeah. So then everyone is just like, oh, we're not perfect, we're not beautiful. But no, it's just, it's not that. And that's why I'm glad we're moving a little bit forward with like the shift into natural beauty, because now younger girls can be like, oh, I'm beautiful no matter what, whether I wear makeup or not, or how I look. And I'm glad we're moving into that
Yeah.
shift.
Do you think it has to do with maybe because I do see a shift in this as well. Pamela, Pam Anderson, she was
Yeah.
Baywatch model, and you saw what happened where she was at I think it was the Cannes Festival, one of the
Hmm.
big events, and she went with no makeup on, not
Yeah.
intentionally to like make a statement, but just because she said she wanted the focus to be on her
Hmm.
outfit, not on her face.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
was like, it went viral, right? Everyone's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, no makeup. And it has come a thing where if like I almost feel like if a woman shows up with no makeup, it's almost like they feel like they're just respecting people because they're not done up. And I even have
Yeah.
people that have like women that will apologize. Oh my gosh, I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, why are you apologizing for not
Yeah.
wearing makeup? So I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like Pam Anderson, and then I think Drew Barrymore, she did a
Oh
show
yeah.
with her and they didn't put any makeup on. She actually took her extensions out. So I feel like we're also hopefully like being better role models too, as older
Yeah.
women to you younger
Hmm.
women. Do you see that as well?
I definitely do. I think that of Pam Anderson was very, I don't know why it was so like blown up on the
I
internet. I was like, she just decided not to wear makeup today.
right?
Guys, like, don't take it so serious. I was like, guys don't ever wear makeup, and then you guys are fine with it. But when a girl decides to not wear makeup, you guys are all criticizing her or being like, oh yeah, good job, Rhea. I'm like, well, she just decided not to wear makeup. Like, it's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal. And it's crazy how headlines became so big about it. But what was your question? I'm sorry, I lost my train of
No,
thought.
no, it was just one of those things that like, do you see like older women also kind of embracing that?
Oh,
And that is, essentially like trickling down to you younger
yeah,
women. We're
I think
if
that
we're owning up to
definitely,
our age too and are, gracefully aging. At
yeah,
least
I think it definitely impacts a lot. I think seeing older women be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, our natural beauty is shining through, and that's most important. Especially like my mom, she was always like, oh, don't wear too much makeup. You're beautiful how you are. Like, I think that coming from a family like that is also has set me with a good mindset. But I think just seeing those older, like, women that are celebrities or are in the public eye, and they also having these ideas of natural beauty and like you don't have to wear makeup to be beautiful is amazing because you saw them at when they did have makeup, and you saw them when they were the beauty standard, and
yeah.
now they still are, but without makeup you're just like, oh, they're just one of us and we can look like them. We don't have to wear makeup to be beautiful, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think we just need to continue to kind of like walk the
Yeah.
walk. And that was something that was really important for me because, yeah, like I said, I was guilty of that. And thinking too that men actually, I will tell you this, every guy friend of mine and everyone that I pretty much have spoken to, they're like, we like women without makeup. Like we rather see them without makeup. So it's a very
Mhm.
contradictory thing if you think about
Yeah.
it, because everybody thinks that we're putting the makeup on to attract men or because men prefer women with makeup. But no, I feel like it's almost like we're doing it to impress other women or
Yeah.
think that it's going to make us feel better. I don't know. It's a
Mhm.
very weird thing because, yeah, most men are like, I don't like women with a lot of makeup on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like when I was doing it in middle school, it was more to like fit in with my friends, my girlfriends. It wasn't more of like, oh, I want a boyfriend. That's why I'm
Yeah.
doing my makeup. Oh, this guy's cute. Let me put on more lipstick. No, it was more to fit in a way, or like look beautiful to impress my friends, not to impress any kind of guy. Yeah.
Isn't that
It's very
mind-boggling?
interesting.
It's very
Yeah.
interesting that, like, I mean, even now, I mean, for you, like you're growing obviously growing up in a different generation, but I will tell
Hmm.
you this, my generation, we're finding that we were pretty much kind of brought up to be pitted against each other and have that competition and kind of that
Hmm.
jealousy and insecurity. And now I find that at least in my age group, we're kind of like, why are we competing with one another? Or why are we like jealous of each other? Like, if anything, let's support one another
Hmm.
and let's be friends where I feel like we've realized that a lot of it was society making us feel
Yeah.
like we had to compete with each other. And I think maybe that's where like that the makeup and the looking good, it's not for the for them and for the guy. It's
It's
like
for us.
for us and the other women. And
Yeah.
so I do feel like I'm hoping there's a shift with that because I feel like there's still a lot of comparison.
Yeah, and I think comparison has just gotten a lot harder because you're on social media where you can go on someone's page and compare yourself at all times, 24/7, and
Yeah.
it's really hard. I know I did that when I was in high school. I would obviously compare myself to other girls, compare myself to models, compare myself to just celebrities in general, and it does take a big toll on you, and I think girls need to stop doing that, and girls need to see that natural beauty is better and that
Mhm.
not everything you see on social media is true. Everyone has filters these days.
Yeah.
That's why
And
I
you
really
get to
like the
choose
show.
what you want people to see. So you
Yeah.
upload the video and the picture that you have already, looked at and decided you had your stamp of approval.
Exactly. It takes like a week for me to post. So like every girl goes through that. Every girl's trying,
Yeah.
waiting a week or like to see which to post. They're just posting
Yeah.
their perfect version of their life, I guess. Yeah.
I know, which is still makes me sad because, you know, obviously you don't need to like open up about it, but have you
Mhm.
struggled like with your mental health because of that? I mean, or have you been able to be pretty, like, okay, I'm not going to let
Yeah,
it
yeah,
bother
yeah.
me.
I feel like like I said in high school, it was the hardest. Especially like you see your friends that are pretty, and then you're like, okay, I want to be like them, and then you see
Which, by
models,
the
and then
way, you are
you
absolutely stunning.
just
So I
thank
just have
you,
to tell you.
thank you, thank you. Um, but yeah, I think it's just a natural thing you do in high school. But then with social media, it was a lot easier to compare yourself and just pick at yourself and see what you didn't like about yourself and what you should change about yourself. It was really mind-boggling. I don't even know like if I was being my true authentic self in
Yeah.
high school. I couldn't tell you if I was or I wasn't. Like I was just trying to fit in so hard. That's why I had like an epiphany when I came to college. I was like,
Oh,
wow, I
yeah.
don't have to change to be myself. I just found friends because I talked to them in class, or I found friends because I was roommates with them. It wasn't like anything of me trying to fit in or trying to get in
Hmm.
that friend group. It was more natural. And then that having that kind of friend group and that support system led to me just becoming less of like, oh, I need to fit in or I need to change myself to fit in. It was more of just like, oh, like I don't have to wear makeup today to fit in. I don't have to look
Yeah.
pretty or presentable to fit in. Like I can just go out without like being in PJs or like I can just wear
Yeah.
jeans and a t-shirt and be fine and I don't have to feel like I'm gonna get criticized by my friends, you know?
But see, that's wonderful because there's not many people your age that feel that way in college. If anything, a lot of them struggle even more in college,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So for you to have done that, but I think you said something that's really important is that
Hmm.
you started kind of networking, talking to people, being yourself. So you were attracting people that were already attracted to like your authentic self. And
Yeah.
so then, yeah, you don't have to put up any kind of front and be somebody else
Hmm.
because you were already who you were from the start.
Yeah.
And I commend you for that because, like I said, it's not easy to do that. I know in college, I wasn't able to
Hmm.
do that. I have just started really feeling like I am my 100% authentic self in the last several years. It's been very recent for
Wow.
me
Hmm.
because of my insecurities and just
Yeah.
my, stuff up here. But
Hmm.
it says a lot about you that you were able to do that at such a young age. So you should be proud of yourself for that because
Thank you.
that takes a lot. It
Yeah,
does.
it does take a lot. I think it's a lot of just mind games, I guess, of you don't have to change yourself to fit in or have good friends. You just have to be yourself, and then you attract the people you do actually like. Because I feel like in high
Yes.
school, I definitely had friends that I was just like, I'm just friends to be friends with them. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like anything crazy, or it was just like, oh, I have them as friends, but I couldn't have that one-on-one deep connection with them as I have with my current friends now.
Yeah, that's what's cool
Yeah.
about college is some of these friends you are going to have them for the rest of your life. Like I still have a couple of my best girlfriends from college, sorority sisters. I'm still friends with like one of
Oh,
my dearest closest friends. She and I are still really close and she's now a survivor, but she had breast can was diagnosed with breast
oh
cancer last
wow.
year and it was pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful to be able to be on that journey with her by her side through chemo,
Hmm.
through surgeries. There were several us girlfriends and sorority sisters that would come and stay with
Hmm.
her and, help her with her tubes and feed her, all of those things, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
these, she was one of the first people I met at UCLA. The first day that I was there, I met
Wow.
her. And so it's so some of these friends of yours, you're gonna have them in your wedding. If you get married, you're gonna have them like in the future. So just like be like
That's
acknowledge
exciting.
that. Like these actually might be friends for life.
Yeah, I could definitely see them being friends for life. I'm like, I'm stuck with them and I'm happy to be stuck with them. Going through chemo is really, really strong though. That's a really strong bond. Yeah.
Yes, it was because I was there when she first started losing her hair. And I was
Oh
there
yeah.
when she was told that she was cancer free. I took her to the doctor. She
Ah,
has her husband and kids, but her husband was working, and so I like took her to the appointment, and so I got to be right there when she was told like officially, you're cancer
oh,
free. Yeah, but those are friendships that stand the test of
bonds that
time.
last forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
it's so I love that you're developing those friendships coming from a place that is authentically yourself.
yeah.
Yeah,
How
no,
was
no,
it with the
no.
sorority, if I could ask? Because I
Oh
know
my God. Yeah.
a lot of like friendships that I see in sororities seem to be more fake, or you see like the girls acting more like happy and peppy, but they actually aren't on the side. So I
Yeah.
just want to know how your experience was, because that could change going through the years.
Yeah, I think because I did it kind of a little bit different. So I didn't go
Hmm.
through rush. What happened
Oh,
was is
okay.
I didn't rush, but I was at one of the football games with some of the fraternity. Like you go and you tailgate with like fraternities, and there were a
Uh-huh.
bunch of girls there, and they just seemed so cool. And I started talking to them, and I was like, "Wow, I really like these women." And it
Uh-huh.
turns out that they were part of Alpha Phi, and
Uh-huh.
they ended up like they have what they call continuous open bidding. So after rush, you still
Uh-huh.
have like open bidding. And so they
Yeah.
extended a bid to me, but there was something that I was like, I felt just such a strong connection. And I didn't even know any of the other sororities. Like
Hmm.
my roommate was had joined another sorority, which I knew like I wasn't going to fit in.
Okay.
And this particular sorority I loved because they were just very diverse and so down to earth.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm still friends with a bunch of them. So it goes to show that like I actually did follow my gut in
Yeah.
that moment, and my
Hmm.
instincts were like, these are the girls that are gonna like be cool chicks. Like you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
be your goofy self. And I was. And so for me, because of that, I think maybe it was a little bit different. I didn't know what the
Hmm.
top sororities were. Like I didn't do any
Yeah.
research because I wasn't really big into Greek life. It just happened to be that there
Hmm.
were these really cool girls that I wanted to be part of, their little community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, your path was definitely more natural than I see other girls go down, and
yeah.
I feel like they
Well,
shouldn't
now
be
it's
in such.
crazy, like in the
Yeah.
South with those schools in the South, and then you see like if they don't get into the sorority that they want to, they will literally
They
transfer
were.
out of the school and leave
Yeah.
the school because they're like, it's not worth going to school there if I'm not in this particular sorority. So there is
Yeah.
still extremes happening, Leslie, where it just blows my mind where
It's
we're talking
crazy.
about how women are embracing, the natural beauty and you're being your authentic self, but there's still a whole other world out there of young women that,
Hmm.
they and I don't know how to change that. Like I don't know how we fix that because I feel like it's it's something that's kind of like been embedded.
Yeah, it's been
That
built into our history. It's
yeah,
been set on us since we were growing up. It's been set in our moms, our grandmothers. Like they all have the same experiences. It's
yeah,
just that we just need that change to happen, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. I think it's been a pretty good trickle down effect of, oh, be your authentic self.
yeah,
Don't try to change yourself for anyone. Like I think we're doing a pretty good job, and I'm hoping that in the near future, hopefully, we don't even have to have that discussion anymore. It's kind of
yeah.
just that we don't have to change ourselves to try to be better. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, this podcast is essentially to hear someone like yourself and hear your experience so that hopefully maybe someone else is inspired by
Yeah.
what you're saying and they're realizing like, wow, like look, she's embracing herself. She's, embracing kind of that natural look, all of those things. And I feel like that's kind of what it takes, right? Is like having the
Yeah.
conversation, seeing more and more people do it so you don't think that you're like the only one, that
Hmm.
you're not alone. So I do love that you were very open about that because,
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
sometimes it's hard to like be really honest and transparent about things.
Yeah, I could
You
definitely
know?
see it being hard, but I feel like I've just come to a good point in my life where I'm like, okay, I don't have to change to be anyone else. I just have to be myself to have the good people surrounding me. I think I
Yeah,
just like that more than having to change myself to fit in or find
yeah,
the friends that I think I should have. Um, so I think it's just like speaking on facts. Like it doesn't feel like it's that hard, but I think it definitely probably took a lot for high school Leslie to be college Leslie now.
oh, I love that. And then you're gonna have like post-college Leslie, and
Yeah,
there's
it's
gonna be so
crazy.
many different stages and phases, and
Mhm.
it's gonna be great to see like where you're at already, and then to be like at my age, like, woo, girl, you're gonna be like way past like where I'm at in my thinking. And but that's like the beauty of it, and I think that's where a lot of people don't realize with your generation that you
Mhm.
guys really do have this like sense of self-awareness at a year earlier age, and you really do have this like you guys are just wise beyond your years. It's incredible like to see because then
Yeah.
hopefully you don't have to like suffer as much as maybe a lot of us have. Maybe
I
you'll
think
get to where you want to be kind of at in it. It'll be like maybe an easier journey for you to kind
mhm.
of, yeah, to do the things that you want to do because you have a good mindset.
Yeah, I hope so. I think I've learned to kind of control all that and like the mental health kind of thing, which is
Mhm.
like journaling. I try to journal as much as possible
I
and just
love
have
that.
that. Yeah, I just have that. And I think it's the one thing that always helps me because I could see where I'm doing my wrongs or my rights. I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
okay, like written on paper, I can actually express myself and actually be like, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm doing right. This is what I'm doing wrong. And this is like, I have to stop this. I have to continue doing this. And I think being able to see that on paper has helped me a lot and has changed me a lot. And I think if I could recommend anything for younger girls, it's journal. I think it's even a lot of fun to just see what your past self saw in yourself and now
Yeah.
what you see in yourself now and then reflecting on that. Really, it's a unique experience and I think it helps a lot.
No, I think that's fantastic. I think that is something that's going to help a lot of young women to journal. Yeah, because there is something about like writing things down and
Mhm.
then even looking back like months down the road, you sometimes I'm like, wow, I've already changed, just in the
Yeah.
last couple of months. So it does kind of like document that there is growth there and
Hmm.
that you're getting wiser and you're learning things because that's the thing too is that like there's going to be lessons along the way
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. And so then maybe too like it'd be kind of cool like in those moments that you think, oh my gosh, like this sucks, or like why is this happening, but you
Hmm.
know that there's a lesson there. Like maybe once you figure out the lesson, you write the lesson that you had learned from that particular
Yeah.
experience. I think that would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
something really cool. I think I need to start doing that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely really helpful because you see yourself have these struggles that you think are so big in high school. Well, at least me in high
Yeah.
school, I was like, this is such a bad week. This happened to me. This also happened to me. And I'm like, girl, that's everyday life for me now. Like, I
Yeah.
already know how to get through that. So I think just writing it down helps you a lot to just see that and be like, oh, I grew so much from this. I
Yeah.
changed so much from this. Yeah.
No, that's going to be some really good advice for people. I love it. Okay, so we're winding down, and I thought it would be kind of cool to like start asking like a question, like the same question at the end. So it kind of like goes along with what we were just talking about. So it's really good. So the
Okay.
question is, looking at your life right now, what's one thing that has surprised you about becoming an adult?
Oh. I would say, I mean, I already brought it up, right? But just
Right.
being able to be my authentic self, I think really surprised me. I think for the longest time, I thought I would always have to kind of fake it till you'll make it kind of thing.
Yeah.
I always heard that growing up.
Yeah,
And I
so
think
did
I
I.
took it too
I used
hard.
to say that all the time.
Yeah,
I'm
I think I
guilty.
took it too on the on the dot on the nose. That was too
Yeah.
fake it till you make it in high school, and I was really faking it, trust me. And then I think it just got to the point where I was like, oh, in college I don't have to do that. I
Yeah.
could be myself, and everyone will like me for who I am. And if they don't like me for who I am, I don't really care. I don't have to change. If you like me, you
Yeah.
don't, that's your problem. But
Yeah.
I
It's
think I
their
would say that,
problem, not yours. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's
I
never
that is
our
like
problem.
the perfect way to end this. And I think this is like such a great inaugural episode to really just talk about embracing your true self and
Yeah.
what that'll do. And so I think this was fantastic. So Leslie, I really appreciate you coming on, and
Thank you for having
I'm
me.
open to having you back on. I think it would be really cool
Yay.
too, like down the road, same thing, like
Hmm.
kind of catch up and be able to see like
Hmm.
how your journey's going and how you're still evolving and growing and all of those
Yeah,
things. I think that would be fantastic for sure.
I would love
Um,
to. That sounds like
yeah.
fun.